All right, welcome to Relay Radio. I'm your host, Derek Dreyer. To my right is my co-host, Daniel Hong. We will be lighting the torch of knowledge to bring you exhilarating insights, expert tips, and inspiring stories.
Immerse yourself in the world of business, entrepreneurship, and life as we pass the baton of knowledge, empowering you to sprint towards greatness. If you were to look up resiliency in the dictionary, you would find today's guest's name as the definition. He graduated from Houston Baptist University, which doesn't exist anymore, so his degree really isn't valid.
HCU.
Formerly a pharmacist tech, our guest went through a troubling time in the early 2000s and was forced to switch careers. Now he is the president of one of the biggest energy brokerage companies in Houston, Texas, Savant Energy. Serial entrepreneur, energy mogul, golfing enthusiast, crypto extraordinaire, family man, he is Jeremy Gutierrez. Is that good?
What do you think of that intro?
That's amazing. Do I need it like my little? I didn't write anything.
Yeah, little violin.
You can correct it. You'd be like, yeah, you're good.
That's great, man.
Cool. So the way we do our podcast, Jeremy, it's set up like a relay race. So we go through, we'll do a warm-up. Our warm-up is we'll shoot some trivia questions at you to answer. Then we'll go through first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg. The legs are split up to, we'll talk about your personal personal life. We'll talk about social media stuff. Then we'll go into business and then like advice, goals, retrospect type stuff. And then we'll finish it off.
Let's do it.
Good? You need some water?
I'm good.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's start off with the trivia questions. We'll put 30 seconds on the clock, and then we're going to fire off some questions at you.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
You ready? All right, what are the 5 main forms of energy?
5 main forms of energy. You got hydro, water, gas, electric, and nuclear. How do I know that?
Yeah.
Go closer.
You should know that.
Eat this mic.
What country created the sport of golf?
The sport of golf. I want to say was it England? No. No. Okay.
How many months have 28 days?
I want to say 1.
What was the Bitcoin's unofficial mascot? Animal.
Unofficial mascot. Mm-hmm. It has an animal outside the bowl, maybe.
Time.
What year was the $500 bill discontinued?
Never knew they made a $500 bill. I know they made $1,000.
All right, so you got the first one actually, which I thought was going to be. I don't know why I thought that was going to be the hardest one for you, but I guess not. Golf was created in Scotland.
Really? I didn't even know that.
I was thinking United Kingdom or something like that for sure.
Yeah, well, it is in the UK. So. All the months have 28 days.
That is true.
Bitcoin's unofficial mascot was a honey badger.
Never knew that.
I don't know if you
I always
knew
thought it was the bull. Every Bitcoin conference we go to has a bull.
Yeah,
I guess
maybe they changed it.
In 1969, I guess they discontinued the $500 bill.
69.
I didn't know they had a $500 bill.
Yeah,
I knew they had a.
Damn, Austin be fucking making some hard ass shit.
She's nodding her head like she knew. I know she knows there's a.
She said she has
$1,000
two.
bill.
She said she has two.
There's
It's
a
probably worth.
$1,000 bill.
Yeah.
If you have a $500 bill, it's probably worth significantly more than $500.
The guy with CW was that C Scraps that pay you in $2 bills. He's got a shitload of those. For sure.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's start off the first leg. Let's talk a little bit about your personal life. I don't really know you as well as Daniel does, so tell us a little bit about your background, like where your family's from.
Yeah, who is Jeremy Gutierrez?
Oh man, that's a good question. I'm 45 this year, actually. Was born in Houston, Texas. Mom migrated from the Philippines, looking for a better life for herself as a nurse, and so she actually went to Houston. I believe she went to New York. That's where she met my dad, which I don't think I look like him at all, by the way.
I don't think you do either.
I know, right? I told my wife I'm adopted somehow, but yeah, he
Some
they
famous
met in
rapper.
med school. He ended up moving to Cali in San Francisco to become the best, I guess, orthopedic surgeon for shoulder and elbow and all that good stuff. Mom stayed in town in Houston. She basically became the #1 thoracic cardiovascular nurse that worked with Dr. DeBakey to do the first ascending aortic aneurysm, heart transplant, all that good stuff. So she was at Methodist for literally 42 years, I believe. So
Wow.
I actually grew up in the nurses' lounge.
Yeah.
So you remember when we were kids, we used to take couches and fucking make forts and
Just
stuff.
yes, yeah.
And then just eating
Definitely.
chocolate powder, basically. But no, that's Went to St. Vincent de Paul. Went to military school because my ass was a lot to handle for sure. And so my mom allowed my mom to work more to get make more money, save more money. Went to Westbury Christian in high school. I think it's Houston Christian University, but it was actually HBU before. And then after that, I went to pharmacy school at Texas Southern University. I got my biochemistry.
What,
degree.
Texas Southern?
Yeah.
That's where my brother went to. It's the hood as hell.
I was a minority.
TSU
bro.
lady.
Yeah, you're definitely a minority.
Nigerians were the population,
Yeah.
especially pharmacy school. But yeah, I got my biochemistry degree at HBU, and then went to TSU, got my PharmD. I don't know how far deep you want to go into, but
Go deep.
So in my process of life, so many eventful things that changed. I went to pharmacy school, was working at CVS Pharmacy and also like Methodist Hospital with my mom actually, in the Fonder and Brown OR. And part of going through pharmacy school, working at those pharmacies made it a lot easier to get through it, right? So I'd say towards the tail end of my pharmacy, school in pharmacy at TSU, in allocating my PharmD, I stole something at Methodist Hospital. It's called Procrit. It's a little medication. And one of my guys, he actually said, "Hey, if you sell me these boxes, like 10 boxes, I'll give you $250,000." I'm like, as a 20-year-old,
Yeah.
you don't understand, especially
10 boxes for 250
Yeah,
grand.
man, it's crazy. So if you understand the logic of, my mom did a fantastic job as a Filipino mom of kind of sheltering, as a child, kind of all the bad things in the world. She did a fantastic job. Obviously, I didn't understand every action has a consequence, right? Positive or negative. And so whenever I made that decision selfishly and not understanding the consequence of it and how the ripple effects of my life would be. And so when I did it, he set me up and we basically, I was right off of that Taco Cabana off of 610 and was it West Belfort over there near the old.
Oh,
Nancy.
shit.
Yeah, right down the street, man. And so it was just boom, cop cars everywhere. And so it didn't process, right?
So it was like a sting operation.
It was a sting operation. Apparently, it was just a much bigger thing than I was aware of, kind of thing. And so, long story short, went to the whole trial and all that good stuff. It took about 2 years to get through it. I was sentenced to 36 months in prison. I actually did 11 months. I came home, and then when your life has a reset button, you're acclimated. You're being groomed per se to go to medical your whole life. And so when that changes, you come home and you're like, oh, fuck, what do I do, right? And so I started bartending. And then as a bartender, I'm like, okay, there's, what else is there to do, right? Because, we were making, $1,000 a week. It was good for, $48,000 a year. As a bartender in your early 20s, it's, when you don't have that much, it's like there's a shitload of money.
Even early 2000s, 50 grand salary was pretty good.
So I want to slow down a little bit. I want to ask you some questions.
Yeah, for sure.
So what made you actually choose to go to pharmacy school and go that route? Was it just being around
It was around being medicine. Obviously, a Filipino mom, they want you go to school to be a nurse, right? And so the whole, if you're not in the medical field or teaching field, you're like a piece of shit, right? You really just, you're the outcast of the family. And so you're and obviously I loved science and math kind of thing. So, and then working at Methodist Hospital, working in the pharmacy department, actually dealing with patients, drug-drug interactions, and just the knowledge of that obviously a lot of Filipinos love to help people. So in providing that knowledge or, not going through the tenure of being in medical school, which is almost 12 years kind of thing, pharmacy you can allocate in half that time. It kind of pivoted that way. And obviously my mom per se grooming to say, hey, this is what I want you to do. This is where you need to go. And it's not like I liked it at first, but I was like, let me go through the school. Let me see how it's like. And it was fun.
So when you went to prison for those 11 months, what was it like?
Yeah, it was a shit show for sure.
Was it jail or was it prison?
No, it was. So initially it was county jail.
Okay,
right?
county.
And obviously, then you go through the process. You get bonded out. You go home.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was, you don't know what's going on. And as a kid, you're just the whole process of how people, like attorneys, especially criminal defense attorneys, and just the prosecutors and that whole system in Harris County, they make you look like a piece of shit.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
You're pretty much guilty
And
before
you're
innocent.
and
guilty,
you just
yeah.
what are these people saying? And obviously, in my early 20s, I'm crying and I'm not understanding the Jedi mind tricks that attorneys play. And obviously they're asking the same question diverted different times, comparable to a deposition, right?
Yeah.
But the older you get, the more experience that you get in suing people or vice versa. You completely understand the shit show and the psychological warfare that goes into it. Mm-hmm. And then now you can make informed and educated decisions contingent upon what you've been through. But at that time as a kid, I'm like, I don't understand the ramifications of what I'm saying or, You don't say, hey, I need an attorney, right? And now it's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up Fridays kind of thing.
Yeah.
You just basically, don't talk, right?
Was there a larger, so for that sting operation, it was just like a larger, higher up type thing that had been going on?
It was way up there. I mean, these when I was in pharmacy school, these compounding pharmacies, these pain management pharmacies, I mean, they're people, and obviously we've all been hurt before, right? You're given 100 Lorcets or Lortabs, and you take one, then you take two, then you take three, and it's like the efficacy of that medication, it subsides based upon, when it's absorbed in your body. So then one, you feel the effect, the efficacy. The same amount of drug you're going to need is probably 3 to 5x that. So then these people you hear about people taking 30 a day.
Yeah.
Right? And so these pain management pharmacies were making killings, 100
Yeah. A
bottles
sick
of
patient is
Xanax.
a profitable patient.
Yeah,
100%.
most definitely.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to Procrit or Epigen is what the medication was. It increases white blood cells. And so like Lance Armstrong, his doping stuff, whatever you call it. I mean, basically he did it to increase oxygenation in his blood, which allowed him to last. I didn't know two shits about it at the time. It was like, hey, here's a little box the size of your palm.
And
right?
10 of those, he was giving you. I would have fucking done it.
And so, but again, it's
20.
like it's like every single day you walk into a refrigerator and there's like, oh shit, there's
10 boxes. Oh, that's easy.
There's like hundreds of it. I'm just like, and you're not understanding like, okay, what does that even mean? What does that look like? And so it's 10 boxes. It's almost like, to me at the time, it's like, hey, when you're a kid, you go into like Target or Target and you're like, oh, let me grab a box of Skittles you put in your fucking,
Yeah.
That's how it was. Obviously, completely different.
Not thinking.
Completely
that's
different.
wild.
You're not just thinking about it. But, and again, at the time, you're like, holy shit, 250. I've never seen that before. And so you're again, it's as that age, you're not thinking of the ramifications of your decision.
I mean, to be honest, like I could probably confidently say 100% of people in their early 20s would have done that too.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a matter of.
It's almost like walking into this fridge and there's 10 bottles of water. You're like, hey, if you get me 10 bottles of that and then bring it outside, I'll give you $1,000. You're like,
yeah.
It's fucking water.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so how did that, going after you went to prison, all that, like how did that really shape your mindset and your life, like from there, like when you were, I guess did you get out early on parole or like?
I got out. The best way to explain it is imagine you guys lost everything. Like you literally just one day. I mean, and that's why at being 45, and especially with my wife, what she taught me is to never take anything for granted, right? And so because everything can be taken away in a heartbeat, whether it be financially, personally, if you lose family, right? Like we lost Anna. I mean, just something like that just changes everything. Or if we lose family members or, God forbid, kid,
Right.
But I mean, the best way to explain it is if you lost literally everything tomorrow and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right. And so even when I got in trouble, I bonded out and I was going through the whole process. I'm like, okay, I ought to be fine. I kept going to pharmacy school. But obviously when back then they didn't really have social media, right? In 2000? So they didn't really have Facebook, Instagram, and stuff like that, like they do today. Like if someone got caught, you're plastered all over those platforms, right? And then it was just news. It wasn't too crazy. So when I went to school, you'd hear little gossips here and there every once in a while, but it really didn't bother me. And I was like, oh, I'm still going to finish pharmacy school, right? And finish with my PharmD. And sure enough, I mean, the board came down and said no. And so literally all that school outside my biochemistry degree at HBU was negated, right? And so now what do I go do? And so it was like, okay, shit, let me go bartend, right?
Yeah.
Because in college, they don't teach you two things when you get out. One is how to sell yourself, right? And to be a parent. And the first thing you do out of college is sell yourself. You got to do an interview, right? Job. And what I appreciate about bartending, I really wasn't in sales, but I like to get people fucked up. As you guys know, when you come to my house, I'll fuck you up with food and drinks, right? I like to serve just because it makes me feel like, hey, you're my guest. And so not that I own the bar or anything, but it was more so, hey, you're there to have a good time, supply and demand, right? I had the supply, the demand was there. And ironically, that's how I met my wife when I worked for her, and she Harvey Weinsteined me as her bartender because she was my boss. She took advantage of me. She grabbed my butt and she took advantage. Why you look so confused?
She act like so surprised.
I know, so surprised, but she Harvey Weinsteined me and took advantage of my innocent soul.
Hilarious. You didn't even file a
but you loved
HR
it,
report or anything.
Yeah, obviously he loved it.
Complaint.
But she would have beat me either way. But no, I got into that, and then ironically, how I got into energy sales. There was one of my patients at the time. He came to CVS. And he had a black card, And he was Indian. His name was Michael Germana. And I was like, hey, bro, you're taking too much Viagra because the pigmentation on your skin is making you blue. And he came in with a black card, right? And I was like, oh, what do you do? And ironically enough, fast forward, about a year later, he came into the club. I'm like, hey, what do you do? And he's like, well, I sell electricity. I'm like, how the fuck do you sell electricity? And I was thinking in my head, I was like, my bill's $600 on my house. I didn't know anything about energy direct. I think you just turn on the light, you pay your bill. I didn't think you had an option, right? And it didn't, at that time make sense. And he's like, well, let me show you. And I had two options. One was to be an insurance agent and I was like, what the fuck is that? That sounds so boring. And one was energy sales because the guy I saw, right, which obviously is semi-facade, but, buying bottles and all this good stuff. And again, in your early 20s, this guy had, nice cars. He had a nice house. He had just the life of the party kind of thing. And he had a black card. He'd come in and just spend a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And I was curious. I was like, what the fuck does he do? Why is he successful? And why am I, how do I get to be that, right? And when you're in your 20s, you say get to be that, you're just looking at it from a materialistic perspective, not necessarily the logistics of it or what does he do or does it help kind of thing. You're just thinking in your 20s, pussy, drugs, just good time, not really responsibilities kind of thing.
Yeah. Just like the present, like what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Rather than tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. And so that kind of just, I don't want to say conjured my decision, but it kind of pushed me in that way of say, hey, what do you do? So I met with him. I didn't know his sales. I did not know his door to door. And we're talking 2003, 2004.
When everyone was selling Cutco knives.
So do you remember those? Do you remember those fucking botanical? What is it? Encyclopedias?
Yeah,
shit like that.
I'm pretty sure my parents bought those.
Oh no, hey, those Kirby vacuums.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Oh
I let him into my house one time, and she goes, "What are you doing?" This lady was in here for 45 minutes. I love the sales process.
Yeah,
she's like,
"What? Want to hear you out?
Why? They're gonna come rob us."
So jump back a little bit, just to explain. Maybe some people don't know. Like a lot of cities or states have like regulated energy, where it's like you can only use like CPS or like you can only use one type of energy broker, and then there are places that are deregulated, which is what you're talking about, where
like Houston
companies can actually sell and brokerage energy.
So like Texas, I'll give you examples. So Houston, Dallas, Corpus Christi, Midland, Odessa, Pecos, Fort Stockton, et cetera. There's you have the power to choose your energy provider, right? And so there's locations like Austin, which is the city of Austin, but Pflugerville is deregulated. San Antonio is CPS Energy.
Yeah.
So when I say it's regulated, you only have one provider. Right?
Yeah.
If you go to San Antonio, CPS, that's it.
Yeah, and then whatever they charge is whatever they charge.
Yeah, you take it in the S. I don't know. Do you guys remember Louis the Lightning Bug, HLMP? So
No, I have no idea. No.
I feel fucking old. So back before 2002, before deregulation, there was Houston Lighting and Power. It was Louis the Lightning Bug. If you ever Google it, it's
okay.
The commercials.
I didn't grow up in Houston.
The bee's butt is a fucking lightning. It's a bulb, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. But Louis the Lightning Bug, and it was the bug with the lightning with the bulbous ass, right? And so
people would be canceled for that today. It's hilarious. Oh my god, that's so sexual.
Light his ass. Yeah. But now, so whenever deregulation occurred, what happened is HLMP, Houston Lighting Power, separated into Reliant Energy and then CenterPoint Energy. So Reliant was just the billing company, right, that sends you the bill. CenterPoint Energy, like today, it's raining outside. So I got texts upon text that said, hey, my power's out. What do I go do? You give them the number to say, hey, this is CenterPoint Energy. They're the ones that maintain it, service it. If your power goes out, to turn on power, these are the people you call. You remember when you guys were here, we're having a shit show?
Yes.
To get power turned on? And he's like, bro, I need power. I'm like, dude, our order is in, and he knows it.
Yeah.
But CenterPoint's like, dude, permitting.
Yeah.
Just the frustration of just getting power on. These guys get paid minimum wage. Right. They see something wrong with it.
So there's different brokers at the end of the day, but CPS or CenterPoint is still the one controlling it all.
They're the main.
Yeah, so there's different energy providers, right? Reliant, TXU, JEXA, NG, Suez, NRG, etc. The best way to explain it to a person that doesn't understand from an energy's perspective is you have your car, right?
Yeah.
Who's your insurance provider?
USAA.
How'd you find them?
Just through our bank. I guess we've always used them.
They recommended your bank. So like for me or for Daniel, let's say I call my insurance broker and I'm like, hey, look, here's State Farm, Pure, here's Progressive. And all I'm like, what is my coverage? What's my monthly net? Is it the same? And is it lower or higher? And with time, just like everything, it goes up and down. And it's very comparable to electricity. If you're deregulated, you can choose your energy provider that bills you, right? TXU, Reliant, JEXA. CenterPoint Energy in Houston, Encore in Dallas, AEP down in Corpus. These are the utility providers. The energy company just bills you what they send you. So if you think about it, it's just energy provider, delivery company, your house or business, right? You just turn on the switch here. Once you turn it on, they bill you for your usage. But how do they read your usage, this provider? CenterPoint has to come out and read it. CenterPoint sends it to you, to the provider to bill you. That's it. I mean, that's literally the business. Now, and there's thousands and thousands of energy brokers that are out there. There's door-to-door companies that do, their customer acquisition firm. The way we did our business model is more so just as an energy brokerage firm, right?
Yeah. That's how we met too. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the business stuff a little bit later. But
I'm still laughing at how I met you.
Yeah. Jumping back. So you met this guy that's in energy, and that's how you kind of started your journey into that world.
Yeah, it was crazy because when I got into it, it was more. It's kind of like you don't want to be too excited to say, "Hey, I would love the opportunity," but you still want to be reserved so you don't seem desperate. And I was pretty desperate because as a bartender, again, making $1,000 a week, it was great, but it's just the lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's good in your 20s, but how's it sustainable?
It takes a toll on you too.
It does. I mean, with the amount of, your drugs, alcohol, just your habits, your daily habits, and this how you live your life. You're like, this is not sustainable, right? And what's crazy is a lot of people still, it's hard to get out of the nightclub industry, but more so not to get off tangent. I ran into someone when we were at the Versace store with her. This guy was selling me Emporio Armani suits. I was mannequin shopping when I was working at the Galleria. He still was there when we got there. I'm like, bro, what are you still doing here?
That's wild.
And he was a sales guy still. And he's like, I could never get out. And so to get out of the bar industry, a lot of people will tell you, just like Donovan when you did the podcast, it's hard to get out of that industry because it's fast cash. It's that, a lot of guys, it feeds their ego.
Yeah.
And there's supply demand with women if you're a guy, if you're a bartender, right?
Yeah.
And so it's very easy per se relative to, like myself, I'm a semi-introvert. Being a bartender.
Hell no. Bro, what? No way are you any introvert. What?
I'm a homebody, bro. I really am. Unless we go out and eat.
Selective now.
You put most definitely. You put food. It's a different story. That's a
hell no, bro. You ain't introvert. It's hilarious.
But
he's a food introvert.
Yeah, food introvert, for sure. But as a bartender, it really was. It gave me the confidence, right, and taught me charisma or attention to detail because if I had a client over here, I knew that they're drinking it. I saw it going down. I had to go fill it.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So you were compartmentalizing different fires per se, right?
So with everything that happened with, the pharmacist stuff, the prison stuff, the bar stuff and meeting this energy guy, obviously your life has taken a turn, right? Like for the better, right? It's really it's almost like a blessing in disguise, right? How do you feel like I think it's a personality thing too, maybe your mom, but how do you feel like you've stayed so positive? Because you're always very positive, and you were talking about you don't take things for granted, but where did you get this mindset? So when you came out and
didn't have an option.
Okay.
I didn't have an option, right? And so the best way to explain it is imagine you have a life vest and you're in a boat, and you went into the middle of the fucking ocean, right? You only have two options. Either you leave the vest on and you kind of float and go through the whole process, right? Or you take it off, or you sink or swim, right? And so whenever I started doing the energy sales, right, I was very scared because it was door to door, and no one in life likes rejection, right? And so can you imagine walking into a business day after day, 50 to 60 businesses a day, and 90% of them telling you no, right? Get the fuck out, leave me alone. And obviously we kind of do it in a similar way. When people call us on sales call, we just hang up, or people come to the door and want to sell us shit.
Yeah.
We do the same shit. Ironically enough, we're in sales ourselves, right? And so, but your mindset, you don't think about it. So when you ask me how did I keep a positive mind, I didn't have an option, right? It was either sink or swim. Go out in the middle of the ocean. I took the vest off. I fucking jumped in, and it was either I sank or swim. And so when I started shadowing these guys to understand the business, I'm like, dude, if I can see this motherfucker do it, and he sucks this bad, I'm like, I know I'm going to be fantastic. And I just knew it, right? And so whenever I started doing it, I just kept to the process. One thing I did not follow was their 45-minute script, because I was like, dude, if you look at and understand nonverbal objections of people, they don't want to be sold, right? And the first thing a sales guy walks into the stores, whatever they're walking into, a hotel, they're just they're not genuine, right? And they're like, what the fuck are you here for? And that's, the answer. That's the objection, the nonverbal. So I remember when I first left that group, and the reason I left that group, years later is because, they weren't paying the agents, and I ended up paying them out of pocket. And so I ended up leaving. I started my first actual company after I left that company, which taught me the foundation, right? Mm-hmm. Which was great, which was called iEnergy, where we I met.
Yeah.
But I actually mortgaged my house. It was I think it was like $120,000. I took a HELOC on that one, and literally to start, because there's operating expenses, right? And so to go from a company that was paying me upfront, right, to where I could sustain, and I had this lifestyle per se. I mean, I was making $300,000 a year, but they were making $3.2 million off of me, and I was like, dude, it's so uneven, right? It's not fair. I was like, can I get a raise? And they're like, no. And so when I went on my own, I left, and then I'm like, okay, I'm getting hundreds of dollars a month versus thousands, and I'm like, I need cash flow, and so I basically took out a HELOC on the house, or my old Greenway house.
Yeah.
And it was either I was gonna make it or not, and be homeless, or move back in with mom. Yeah. And that cash flow helped me, allocate more clients. Once my business kind of moved all over again, it just took off from there, and we sold that company for 10.2 in 2014, 15, yeah. And then started Savant Energy in 16 with my wife Lori, and haven't looked back since. So
cool. That's great.
Yeah, we can dive into the business.
You
aspect.
Definitely went into
the business aspect. Yeah.
So I'm just jumping back, like going from bartending making like $1,000 a week to
making $300K
a year is also an insane jump. So like, it's
going from, look, but it's the same shit if you think about it. It's sales. You're selling yourself. Again, that's one of the things.
I feel like everybody's a salesman though. Like no matter what industry,
either you're getting sold or someone's selling you.
Yeah, like a job interview, you're selling yourself. Like walking down the street and someone asking you what you do, or like what are you wearing? Like you're selling yourself. It's constant. Like a lot of people don't realize that.
You also had the fire under you, right? Like you were going to do what it takes. You had the competitiveness of like, I can be better than this person.
Yeah. The competitiveness really didn't, it was part of my mentorship with a gentleman named Michael White. And he was a great motivational speaker, very comparable like Joel's. He's a great motivational guy, not the best sales guy, but he was great at motivating you to say, hey, believe in yourself, you can do it. And then you took that in your morning meetings, you allocated going door to door. I haven't been door to door probably in 12 years, but even when I did back then, it was fun because it was the grind. I literally had holes in the bottom of my shoes in West Texas. I bought a smart car, for God's sakes, and went down I-20 down to go do all that stuff. But competitiveness breeds most definitely success, right?
So before we jump into the business, we want to talk to you about social media. So normally, our guests partake in social media in some shape or form. Like most of the people we interview are like have social media businesses or built their following from social media, but you're different. I feel like your side is very different. So you're almost like a Facebook whore. So
no, I'm not almost. I am a Facebook whore. My wife could tell you I'm a Facebook whore.
So how do you?
Well, Facebook was his era. So
yeah, for real. Dude. He stuck to that. He's like, fuck IG. I'm not going there. So like,
I'm pot committed, bro.
Yeah, for real. So with your business, it seems like it didn't stem its success from social media, obviously, because it started before we even had social media influencers. So what do you normally do now for like a social media perspective?
So let me ask you guys this. Do you ever go on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and say, oh my God, there's an energy thing that comes up. Fix your AC or energy lower rates. What the fuck do? You keep scrolling.
Yeah, right? You keep scrolling.
So with electricity and sales, even we tried it with a couple of marketing guys that do SEO, site engine optimizations. It was more residential shit, but obviously just because everyone has a bad experience with energy. Correct. All the comments were negative. It just didn't really look good. So obviously I didn't pivot. I never pivoted that way. We tried it one time. And it just, if you look at the market segmentation of how others are doing it, right, and you can reverse engineer it, no one was really doing it well. So I really didn't want to go into social media. Facebook, it started as family friends because I wasn't on it. And then I was like, ooh, what is this, right? And then obviously you had your YouTube, your TikTok, your Instagram and stuff like that. Even still today, I think my wife, she controls the Instagram on Savant Energy, but she'll just repost stuff from Facebook. And so from my perspective, Facebook just became the social media platform for me became a platform to where I could friend request my clients, right? And then they would actually see me as a husband, as a father, my personality and what I like to do. Obviously, it's a great way to also inspire, because a lot of guys now, they're like, oh, I only look at your Facebook to see where the city that you've been gone to make recommendations to go eat, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of these times it started off as, hey, let me promote your restaurant because you're my client. So let me add you on Facebook. Let me add you personally as a client, and then also your restaurant or your hotel or whatnot, and let me plug you. And so a lot of it says, hey, we're going to go eat at this restaurant. And they're like, how do you eat so much? I'm like, bitch, it's fucking portion control. And plus I'm with 5 other people.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, it also gave my client an opportunity to market them through me, right? As a, I don't want to say an influencer, but it was literally just me plugging my client's place.
Yeah.
And because I had
So organically.
Yeah. And because I had their personal, but also had their business, it allowed them to see me now as what I did too. And so I got to see what they did too. And so I just kept my head down. I really didn't look at anything. I just kind of looked up, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
What did I develop per se?
Yeah, we've talked about it before, and essentially you humanized your brand, right, by putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Like, they get to see who you are.
Mm-hmm.
They don't just see it as Savant Energy. It's, oh, this is the owner. Like, this is what he does. Like, I like supporting him.
Well, they also buy you, right? And anyone can buy electricity. Anyone can buy anything, right? But at the end of the day, is you want to do business with people you like. You want to do business with people, and we'll get into the business where you give back as well.
Yeah.
But more so, I mean, people just want to have fun. I mean, we're all men, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all want to just provide for our family, especially at our age. We don't have time for all that other bullshit. It's more so, let's provide for our family. Let's have a good time doing it. Let's find like-minded people that want to do what we do and have a great time.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really not, you can fuck people over on the energy stuff, and there's companies that have done that before. But I mean, if you're looking for a long-term sustainable business plan like we have, and this year marks 20 years of me doing power. Since
Awesome,
I
man.
started.
Yeah, we should celebrate.
Yeah, no shit. 20 years this year, right? And I feel like an OG.
We should celebrate the house you sold.
So you started Savant in what year did you start?
2016, yeah.
2016.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so social media was pretty like
I think I was one of your first brokers.
Yeah.
Was that one of your first brokers? Because it was a transition where a lot of people were still
At Savant?
iEnergy, and then I was I was only Savant.
Yeah, no. There was like that little block where, obviously we when we sold and migrated over when I started with Lori. And then it was, I believe so.
Damn, let's
But
go.
the way we met was the best part.
Yeah.
So with iEnergy, I guess that was around kind of pre the social media era.
It was there because I have my amazing guys. So there's 2 guys that have been with me. Harrison Fanville, he's been with me since day one, like since we started. I'd say about 15 years ago.
And then Ryan.
And then Ryan. Ryan I picked up right at when we started iEnergy. I mean, he was with this marketing company, and he did graphics. He did really well. I'm like, hey, can I just bring you on board? And I said, until I die, I said, you will be with me. And Filipinos we're loyal to a fault. And I said, look, you do a fantastic work. And he's been with me for about 10 years now. He makes us look phenomenal. He does really good job. If I need something on the fly, he does it, and it's just good to work with family as well.
So how did you guys market yourself then if you weren't utilizing social media at that time? Was it a lot of door-to-door still?
It was. A lot of it was door-to-door in electricity, because really social media, I didn't have that many, I would say, friends or followers. I didn't understand, how important it would be to do what I did repetitiously, right? And I did, and that's why it kind of started taking off. But a lot of it had to deal with just, door to door, being a part of these organizations. Specifically, my book is predominantly, I'd say about 60% hotels, just because going door to door in 2006 and then getting no, or, get the hell out of my hotel. And I'm like, I turned back around. It was one of my first hotels, and this guy, this Nayan Desai, he was in Best Western in LaPorte, Texas. And I walked in, and I was like, hey, my name is Jeremy. He goes, nope, get out. And I was just starting the presentation, and I turned around, and I was just like, dude, this is like the 5th no. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? So I turned back around, and I'm like, hey, bro, let me ask you this something. And I said, look, just forget about the sales shit. I said, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Why are you all guys dicks? And I was predominantly saying, why are you, because this was my 5th, 6th hotel in that area, and I got the same rejection. And I was categorizing, why are you guys all dicks, right? And then he's like, what do you mean? What are you trying to sell me? And I'm like, I'm trying to help you. And he goes, you're going about it all wrong. And I said, can you explain it to me, please? Because apparently what I'm doing is not working, especially with, you guys. Mm-hmm. And I said, what can I be doing better? right? And so he sat down. I got fucked up that day. We ended up eating crab at Laporte at his hotel and drinks. And so, and so that contact, he's like, let me introduce you to my brother. And then his brother introduced me to this group, a small group at the time. And then that group, it just metastasized into, you take care of one.
Those are all the Patels, right?
Yeah, man, it was crazy because you take care of one, you'll be blessed.
So what was his feedback for you? What were you doing wrong?
It was a 45-minute presentation, right? And it was just like, you don't give two shits about.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, nice curtain. What do you do? I'm like, you think in your head like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or you go, hi, my name is Jeremy. I'm talking with all the business over there, just like 10 my boss. So what's happening now is government's changed the law due to recession. You can save 20-30% of the electric bill.
Yeah.
Why I remember that, I have no idea. But that's the script, and you keep going on to it, and you get a copy of the bill. You turn around disrespectfully. It's kind of stupid. But then when you did all that stuff, it actually worked and to get a bill. But they were curious of like, hey, how can I save money kind of thing. And the guy was like, you're going about it all wrong. Instead of doing a script, why don't you just be upfront and tell them why you're there? And so that's why whenever my bosses thought I was cheating, they literally put like a go cam here and had followed me for a couple of days because they're like, what are you doing? And obviously,
doing so well.
Yeah, I was producing more in 1 month than offices were. Right. But I didn't think anything of it. I was not like thinking I'm anything special. I had no metrics to gauge. I was just doing me. Right. And to me, I wasn't going door to door to door to door. I used Salesforce. I found out all the hotel names in, let's say, Abilene, Texas. Looks like a vagina. Right. Mm-hmm. So Abilene, I did Salesforce. It really does, bro. I swear to God. Yeah. I did Salesforce and I found all the hotel owners in Abilene. Right. Yeah. And I categorized all the Patels, all the Bhaktas, all the Desais. And then I called the others, the white people or Asians. And then basically I compartmentalized and I started, used this name to here and I just saturated and kind of went and blocked them and started doing aggregations or acquisitions buying. What I realized is in the Indian community, it's all about family, just like the Filipinos, right? And so a lot of it had to do about giving back, but more so they all knew each other. They all played volleyball together. They all did this. And so when you know that, it's like, look, you take care of one, it'll spread like wildfire. You fuck one over, game over.
Right?
So basically, one, you asked the right person.
I asked the right person, but more so when I did that, when I was very genuine.
Yeah.
But he just said, hey, just don't fuck anyone over.
Yeah.
Right.
So one, you asked the right person. It seems right place at the right time, right person. And two, you, like Derek was saying, you humanized yourself. You didn't go off a script. You were just like, hey, I don't fucking know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you, but like, please tell me how I can help you.
Yeah. And
I feel like people like that more, and especially in sales. It's like, when someone rejects you, we always try to tell people like, okay, cool. Like, I know, this may not work for you right now, but if I could solve those problems, would that help you further make your decision? And then, cause like with energy too, you're right. Since it's a commodity, there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things.
Yeah. I'd say with Nick, I guess where I threw the white flag and everyone's like, man, how'd you do all these hotels? Or why does everyone, in my business, even today, is like, how are my own people, meaning other guys that are in sales, how do all my people, even I had providers, right? CEOs of energy companies are a Smiley or part of that community. They're like, what are you doing to have my community? Why don't they use me? Why are they using you? Why are they using some fucking Filipino? And I'm like, why are you making it about that? Mm-hmm. If you just help them and not try to fuck them over, it'd be amazing. Or if you give back and you support. Or vice versa, because it's a two-way street. But I'd say what changed for me was asking for help. But more importantly, everyone's like, well, why'd you market segmentate just that? And I said, because it was a challenge, right? Because everyone, from my understanding back then, it was like, oh, don't go to hotels. All these Indian guys are dicks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you say that? We're all men. We're all people. But why do you? So my curiosity got me to engage and say, you know what? What am I doing wrong? How can I make it better? And especially if can you help me, right, and build my book, right? And so that's how it started.
You know what's crazy is like all of these very successful companies nowadays will eventually veer towards like social media. But for you, it seems like you're constantly going against the grain, and it's been doing wonders for you and is continuously doing well. So like with social media, like I want to know, like when you consume social media and you see these companies like advertising or whatever, what is it that draws you to them about their social media advertising? And then what is it that turns you away?
I'd say the genesis of every sale, anything, is curiosity, right? Guess what? What? I think you used to work with, was it Christian Guzman over at Alpha Elite or whatever?
Yeah.
So what I liked about his stuff is his YouTube stuff, but it was kind of like, I don't want to say anime, but it was like, he asked a question, right? And that's, we always, our sales process is with Tom Freeze, question-based selling.
I remember.
You remember that?
You
Oh,
made me
Tom
sit through
Freeze.
that shit for
Fucking-
weeks.
Hey, it cost me $50,000
Yeah.
for
You-
2 days.
You
bro.
want to work for me? You just sit through this shit, man.
Yeah,
it was weeks, bro.
It was
weeks.
And I also, actually, your brother too. It was 13 hours of recorded stuff. I had to sign he had to sign
Yeah.
a non-compete for 2
Jeez.
days just to let him out. And that sales process, which is question-based selling, really, everyone was like, man, what are you doing differently, right? Going against the grader or just humanizing myself, is I wasn't following a script when I was at that other company, but what I was doing was everything I was reading from his book. I'm like, oh my God, I'm reading what I'm doing. It's like I'm asking these pertinent questions. You know, to what extent is this? Or
Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask you, ... Curiosity on emails, quick question, ... And so I was like, oh my God, this guy, what I'm doing is exactly what this guy says.
You know, I still use for subject letterhead on email. I still use that same thing. Conversation.
Regarding ABC ...
I still use that.
It's
I
great.
still use it. It's really great.
Yeah, ironically enough, again, is when I say the curiosity for any business, it's even call it the scammers, right? On like my mom or our moms or anything like that, when they get, oh my God, my Facebook has been hacked.
Yeah.
They're like, how, Mom? What'd you click on? I didn't click on anything. I said, go to Messenger. They're like, why? I said, click on it. Does it say, this looks just like you? And it's a photo that's a blur away. And it says, is this you, question mark? And I said, let me guess, you clicked on this link. She goes, yeah. And I'm like, there you go. And so curiosity is the genesis of anything, to engagement, right? And so myself is, for social media, it started off as personal, and then it became, hey, and it wasn't, with an ulterior motive. It was, hey, how can I keep in touch with my clients without selling them? I'm not even trying to sell them, but how can I just be in touch with these guys that I won't see for 5 to 10 years on these energy contracts, that we're adulting, they're adulting, we're being, fathers and supporting entrepreneurs. There's so much shit going on throughout the day, right? How can I still be in touching them without touching them, right?
Yeah.
And so every once in a while, for myself, my social media is as you know, is food excursions or travel excursions, or just sharing. Like my son, he's not on social media yet. He's like, Dad, I want to get on. I said, no, not yet, because I don't want social media to conform his identity, because he's a 14-year-old kid growing up. I don't want social media to conform and tell him, this is what looks good, this is what's going to make you feel good, all this. I want him to, if he gets on social media, to get on there. If there's an opportunity in life that he wants to share, then he can share it. But I don't want him to go on social media and wake up in the morning, oh, I have to post something, or I have to share something. I want him to say, hey, this is who I am, develop your identity as a person, then get on social media. And if you want to share something, go share it, right? But don't wake up in the morning and say, I have to post this, right?
That's so important that you talk about that, because I feel like with millennials, that's like the last true generation of the people that grew up without it. And it just came to us as we were growing up, meaning like, for me, it was almost like high school that I saw it for the first time. And it was in its infant stages, right? Like it was like MySpace, Zynga, and then it became like Facebook. MySpace was like the top 8, and then it became like top 16.
Yeah.
We are, I feel like, the last generation to really see the before and after, and then now we can know the good and bad from it. Whereas like you came up without it. You built your business successfully without it, and even to this day, it's without it. And so you're teaching your son like the principles of the importance of growing up without it first, because that's so real, bro. Because like the people that we interview, that's their entire identity. You're so right in that, because without it, if Instagram shut down today, a lot of these people would eat shit. Like they would have nothing. And they wouldn't know these real world skills that you're speaking of like question-based selling, or just genuinely providing value to help people. It's just more so like we were talking about in another podcast too. Everything kids do nowadays is for the monetization of it rather than the enjoyment aspect of it. Because what you're doing on your Facebook is just posting photos of food because it's something you truly enjoy, but just simultaneously, And unconsciously, subconsciously, you were advertising your clients' restaurants.
But at the same time, it's not like, I mean, I'll give you an example. There's that meme where the guy's like sitting on the bed with the girl. It's, he goes, oh, what do you do? I'm an Instagram model. And she goes, what do you do? Oh, I'm a Call of Duty sniper.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it's like for me, I mean, everyone flexes differently per se.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I mean, you've got people,
Memes are the new political cartoons.
I love memes, bro. You like that meme with you remember that meme with the guy with the balls I just sent you today?
Yeah, dude, you're fucking hilarious. You have the most memes. It's like
I do. It's funny because I only post memes on the weekend for energy just to be funny. But then during Monday through here, show Derek that meme. But there's a guy on Smart South Park. He's holding this barrel, his balls.
he does shit like this.
And
It's funny.
So those are memes that I put on the weekend. But I mean, my clients that are our age, they find it funny. It's not like energy doesn't need to be hard. The reason I didn't get into Instagram, like my wife is huge on it. One, I'm married to a Latina, and God forbid, I'm just not. There's no way I'm gonna even put myself
risk.
Fuck that. How do you mitigate your risk? Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe you got your own Instagram account. Great, fantastic. But for me, Facebook is more of, like, I guess, family-oriented business per se.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Look, I'm just not acclimated to it. But TikTok, you've got YouTube videos, all the reels and all this good stuff. Instagram, I'm just not on it. I mean, for me, this is what's worked. I like it because it allows me to touch my clients,
Right.
and then for them to see me in a different light. But I mean, at the same time, I think Instagram or TikTok or even on Facebook, you can flex if you just like. I mean, you don't see my McLarens on Facebook a lot. You don't see, oh my gosh, this, then that. I mean, or your watches, and every single day, you know how people will post that thing where they're driving their car where they have their watch.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, a lot of guys they do that. And if you do take that away from them, or something happens in their life where they come into a financial, crunch, and they've got to sell those assets off per se. I mean, they're now who are they, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's important, again, is if people want to share something, experience life today. And if you want to share that, go for it. But don't wake up in the morning or go to sleep at night saying, I need it, what can I post more of?
Right. Yeah.
But live today, most definitely.
Yeah.
And I think kids today, I love Gary Vee. Gary Vee nailed it on the head for parents that are like, oh, social media is bad, the phone's bad. Right? That little piece of device that costs $999 or whatever the 15 is today, that thing made me millions. Makes me millions.
Right.
And it's honestly, I mean, going from my computer, I'm an email person, right?
Yeah.
I get 1,100 emails a day. But now I can do this on my phone. I can be in my birthday suit in Tulum working, and that's what I love about my business. It's an intangible commodity I can't touch. If I do, I die. And all it is the energy is customer service, right? And time management.
So, like, my favorite podcast host or favorite, like, business social media guy right now is Patrick Bet-David. I always
he's good.
He actually came out with a podcast with Graham Stephan. So Graham Stephan's like our age, finance YouTuber. And he was talking about, he teaches his kid about a capitalist household, what it means to be a true capitalist. So, like, everything is earned. You want to go on social media, you want to, use your iPad, read 20 books, read 10 books. So every book that you read or every 20 pages that you read is designated to how many hours you can spend per week. I love that. I think that's so important when you can show to limit. Of course, like when we're kids, when our kids are kids, like mine right now.
I was about to say, I can't.
You got to shut them up right now.
I can't see him do that to Grayson.
Yeah, I
Here,
will.
read it.
I
Fuck
will.
you, Dad.
When they're
you
crying.
gotta read the books too, Dad.
I know. Dad, can you translate?
Yeah.
I read it. I got Cliff Notes.
Or if he was smart, right? Like my son did this bullshit to me. I said, hey, read this thing and then tell me what it's about. This little motherfucker goes on ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT. Hey,
Summarize.
What the fuck? And he summarizes it, and I'm like, look, you little smart ass. I said, no, read the book. He goes, Dad, I don't need to. It just gave me the bullet points. I'm like, that's some shit I would do, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's so smart because, like, these books really, he was saying that it teaches them to learn different skills. So, like, he'll read a book and it'll be teaching him about, like, how to make a sale or how to sell himself door to door. So he was kind of going with the stories like, Dad, I need to go make money. So he goes to his neighbors and he asks his neighbors, hey, I need to make $20. Like, what can I do for you? So it teaches them this different mindset aside from social media to have actual skills, to go and ask for help. And then it, takes their time away from, like, they'll be so busy and their mind being so developed that they don't even want to consume social media.
I think
that'll be a big thing too.
I think also as kids, they don't understand the value of a dollar. And I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So my son out front of our house, right? was selling lemonade at $100 a cup. I'm like, and I was laughing, and I took a picture of it, and it was funny because I posted it on Facebook. I'm like,
oh, that was I thought it was $1.
no, he forgot the zero.
Jesus.
Yeah, but it was ironic. But we were getting $100. Obviously, I was just like,
Hilarious.
I started texting our neighborhood. I was like, I know this is a stretch, but he's doing a fundraiser. Can you just give him $100? And I had people. I think it was $1,200, right? And so, but my neighbors were cool with it.
They'll sell
right?
lemonade as your fucking neighbor.
I know, but it was funny. I was like, I had to message him on the threads, on the neighborhood threads. But yeah, I'd say, man, and this is no plug. Tom Freeze is a great sales guy. If you're in sales, question-based selling and How to Sell Yourself First are the two best books that transformed my sales methodology, career. Those two books are fantastic. And I'd say you asked, how'd you keep that drive? What kind of kept you more positive? It sounds cliche-ish, but I'd say one of the first things I do when everyone comes to our office and before they start working, I do two things and two things only. Number one is watch the movie The Secret, right? I don't know if you've ever seen that thing on Amazon or it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Go watch the movie The
I'll
Secret.
watch it.
It's crazy. If you believe in karma, right? Like for instance, I'll give you an example. I'm Catholic. Sit, kneel, stand, sit, kneel, stand. But I do I practice? No. But I do believe in karma. So karma is, look, treat me how you want to be treated, right? And everything will be gravy, right? But watch the movie The Secret, right? It's fantastic to understand mindset or just the visualization board of what you want. And when I was first starting, I visualized these expensive cars, a nice ass house, and financial freedom per se. And I was cutting out these pictures and putting them on my poster board as my goals. I was trying to give myself visual goals, right? Materialistic as they may be as a man, right?
Yeah.
But you're asking me what kind of, held me being more positive. What it was those goals or aspirations of what I wanted, which I couldn't afford or didn't have. But I'd say 90% of my why, besides of having my son at the time, was watching that movie, The Secret. And obviously, the next thing when you come and work with us is reading the book Question-Based Selling, and I'll buy the book for you.
Damn, I would have failed. 'Cause Derek bought me a book too, and I didn't even read it.
That's but all you got to do right now is chat GPT that book, and it'll give you clip notes. But yeah, honestly, I mean, just watch the movie The Secret on Amazon Prime. Okay. It was actually a book, but when I watched it on the video, it was just like,
yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's just the power of visualization. It's like, hey, I want a front park. Have you ever guys wanted a front parking spot somewhere, and there's a front spot?
Yeah, like you're reserved with your name.
Yeah, that's here.
Yeah.
Right? What I'm saying is or just like just anything positive, manifestation.
Yeah.
You manifesting, but a lot of it has to do with action. Right? You can, everyone says knowledge is power. That's not right. The application of knowledge is power, right? Exactly. And so if you apply yourself, you can have all these great goals, but if you don't apply yourself, that is the first step. And that first step for me is of trying to figure out, oh shit, what do I do with my life? Yeah. It was either bartending the rest of my life, or what do I do, or hey, let me just go try sales and jump out into the water.
Yeah.
Well, you could have very easily just had a negative outlook on life, right? Like, oh man, I went to jail. Like, this is my life is going one way. Like, how am I going to do this? Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't happen because I had too many people to prove wrong, especially in my family. And I consider my family, my mom, my wife, my son, kind of thing. But we have aunts, uncles, and in the Filipino culture, you don't even know who your aunts or uncles are. Say hi.
Everyone's an aunt and uncle.
We don't know, right? And so when I came home, my mom got so much shit, right? And so when I saw my mom crying and she was embarrassed, but my mom was there. Every single week she'd come see me, right? And so it was just her and I. It was beautiful because she's been there since day one. And I always say I still live with my mom. Like, my mom lives upstairs. I still live with my mom. She's where I'm at today because of the sacrifices she made and the support. Whenever everyone gave up on me at the time when I made that bad decision, everybody was my whole family shunned her. Right. And I remember I got in a fight when I got home because I had that prison mentality of respect and all this bullshit. I got home, my uncle started talking shit at Thanksgiving, and I literally said, catch a square, and I beat his ass. And my mom grabbed me by my ear and just was embarrassed. And I was like, Mom, he was disrespecting me. But she goes, you're not in prison anymore. And I'm like,
my God. Claiming his set at home.
I'm telling you, bro.
Okay, so were you fighting in prison then?
I got stabbed in my arm.
Really?
It's with a pencil, right? And so they kind of just grateful for jiu-jitsu and wrestling in high school and stuff like that. But it wasn't as bad as everyone seems. It's not really, again, this is 2001, 2002.
I heard prison's pretty fun.
Why are you laughing?
No wonder you're
She's
I know.
she's hinting at some untold stories.
I
over
know, but no,
So
there's
that's why you're
there's
so
no,
flamboyant.
there's like no dropping of soap, and I mean it's commodities. Fucking,
there. Right.
I didn't eat ramen noodle soups when I got home for like years. It was crazy.
Jeremy's the one that said, "I dropped the soap. Who's next?"
Sprinkles. No, yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's crazy how time stops in there. I would
Yeah,
say that.
yeah,
And God forbid anyone goes to like county jail or anything like that. Time genuinely stops, and your mind just races of what is everyone else doing outside, or does anyone know I'm here? You just feel like alone, and then you're in this place with these people that actually kill people, or completely different things than taking something.
That's I mean that's a whole different mindset on its own. Going in there, you have to develop some sort of like almost survival.
Shell. No, it's most definitely a survival mentality, and plus you get when you come home and you are jaded, most definitely with just the whole process of people. When you come from a safe spot and you go and to see my mom, there's nothing she could do, right? And again, she took out, I think it was like the attorney fees were like $100,000, so she took a HELOC, and again, I repaid her when I could, when I had the money and stuff like that. So again, is my mom was always there. My wife, today has just been fantastic. I mean, obviously there's a saying that says that behind every good man is a great woman, but for me, it's beside every good man is a great woman. So, and she's literally allowed me to believe in myself. But I always tell people this. I said, men, we only need 3 things in life. 3 things only: attention, affection, and appreciation.
That's
Fuck
right.
me, feed me, tell me I look good. We'll go conquer the world. And look, she's still smiling over there. But
That's true.
Those are literally the 3 things, bro. I mean, because if everything when you're at the house, and that's obviously, as you know, because Jess is a great supporter of you. It allows you to take care of your beautiful children.
Yeah.
She, Latinas make us fat with all these breakfast tacos and shit they make us. But I mean, it allows you just when you leave the house, you feel good. There's really no stress, right? And so when you have no stress at the house,
I definitely can agree with that. Like having kids and stuff like that, and having a superstar, like a rock star, like woman behind you is amazing, bro.
or beside you.
Yeah,
sure.
beside you.
Beside.
So social media, I love that. Let's hop into business. This is the meaty stuff, I think. So aside from Savant Energy, which you have built into an empire, what else do you do?
Man, so we have a company called it's a holding company, Savant Holdings. We invest in other businesses, right? And then how do we allocate or how do we find these businesses? A lot of it has to deal with clients that I meet. I mean, in the energy business, I meet every single person possible that you can meet in.
Yeah.
From any scope, any spectrum, because everyone needs electricity, everybody. And so I get strip centers, bars, restaurants, food halls, hotels, gas stations, other business ventures, right? And so it just depends. And so what I'll look is from my standpoint, to mitigate my risk, I look at the economics, right? So if I have let's say a hotel I want to invest in, I'll look at what the commission is over 5 to 10 years, and let's say it's $150,000, right? I'll get paid the $150,000 on this hotel as a commission if I close it. I'll just take that commission and roll it into that investment, so I mitigate my risk, right?
Yeah.
And so
it's like if the money was never there.
Yeah.
But now you own something extra.
And don't get me wrong. There's been times where when I did that, right, and the business didn't do well and it failed, I get a chargeback. So then I'd be out of pocket that respective value, right? That's happened twice, right? But outside that of the, 30 to 40 other transactions, it's been well. I mean I always tell people fail falling forward, learn from your mistake, and make sure you don't do it again. So falling forward will allow you to succeed for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So obviously now you're investing in these companies, and you were able to build up Savant. When you first started out, you obviously didn't have a business background. You had the medical background. So what are some of the things you did, or like how did you learn how to operate a business? How did you learn about the investing? Like where did all this knowledge kind of come from?
Go
that you
through
have
the whole
now?
process, bro. I mean,
Just
really,
learning.
I'd say mentorship. There's when you're in this little pocket in say Sugar Land, Texas, you want to find mentors, right? You want to do. It's like I always love that Dado says, "Oh, this is one of my mentors." It's fantastic. I didn't look at myself that way. It was just let me teach you the falling forward aspects. And don't make these mistakes,
Right.
As I did. I think one of those was that tomahawk deal. Where I'm like, hey, make sure this is in here, right? And sure enough, these little things and. I remember suing. I spent like $4 million suing agents for breach of contract and it's stupid stuff, right? And I'm like, fuck hiring salespeople. Right. And then what did I learn from that? Is the legal aspect. I felt like an attorney. You have to go through the emotional roller coaster of doing all that stuff. And so seeing like someone else that hasn't gone through that, like I'll give you an example. We just signed up this EV charging vendor. His name is Chris with EV Charging to Go. Great Persian guy. His dad works for Marathon Oil or something like that. And he sent me a contract. It was a one-pager. And I'm like, I called him up. I said, hey, and I introduced him to Charles. I'm like, hey, buddy, look, if I sign this, I'll be fucking you over without you even knowing it, because the shit show that's going to happen if something goes awry or south, which I don't think it will, right? But if it does, you're absolutely screwed. And I said, can I show you or help you take this form? I'm not going to sign it. I'm going to introduce you to an attorney that's fantastic, Charles Vithan, and he will help you get this document
Charles
right.
better be, man, he better be taking care of us, man. I'll tell you what, man.
Hey, the first time I took Wegovy, I couldn't even eat that damn dinner we ate at, that steak dinner. But no, it was, and he's like, dude, why are you doing this? Why are you helping me? I said, because you're in your early 30s. You have no idea what's out there, these vultures of people.
Yeah.
And you're just giving out these contracts. I said, turnkey, which is a fantastic product, charging stations for hotels. I said, but you get another broker, you get a vendor that just is not on the same wavelength as you, you're absolutely screwed. You have, and this is an agreement. I said, no, you need a contract in place, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's like, man, thank you so much for doing this. And then I'm like, hey, well, who do you do your marketing, right? And I connected him with Ryan. Who does your website? Ryan, right? Who does this? And I love to connect people. And so for me, it's connecting people has exponentially, when we were talking about business, exponentially, just connecting people with no nothing. I want to connect, oh, by the way, you need clothing brand, someone that helps you with clothes, here, Daniel. Or like, I'll give you an example, Asim.
Yeah, yesterday I got a call.
Yeah, so the guy was like, I walked in his office and said, hey, Jay, look, we lost $10 million on this one Pakistani guy that basically took us for a ride on the money on these 4 locations. He goes, now we need to invest this money into something else. We were thinking of car washes and flex spaces. Do you know anyone? I said, hold my beer, right? And so then I call him. I'm a FaceTime whore as well. And I FaceTime Daniel. He answers. And I said, look, you guys two meet. And it's funny because I just literally right then and there, right, to address the problem. And then I'll just FaceTime hand it off. And so.
And then we're neighbors.
Yeah, he goes, man, you got a nice car. And he goes, dude, I'm your neighbor. And then he goes, wait, what do you mean? He goes, yeah. And then he told him where he lives, what car he drives. Yeah. And the guy's freaking out. And his dad is like, how the fuck does he know this?
I'm his neighbor.
But they're neighbors. Right? And so hopefully, they're going to do business. Am I going to get any referral for anything? But you know what? I'll get the power, right? Yeah. But what I did is I made my boys some money. I got my client out of a situation that they need to spend their money and put it into a capital investment, or they need to get into another business venture that they have no idea of flex spaces are. But do you know who I know that does flex spaces? This guy.
Right.
And same thing happened yesterday. Actually, yesterday is Taral Patel. He's running for Fort Bend County Commissioner. I took him to, county commissioner, they do glove contracts, right? And I introduced him to Azim. And so Azim has a manufacturing gloves.
Oh, God.
Right? So long story short is he's got the contract for the gloves, right? He's got a glove manufacturer in Fort Bend County. I connected him. This guy says, he goes to the councilman running. He goes, what do you need? He goes, man, well, I need $600,000 until March. And he goes, and I swear to God, I didn't expect this, right? And so we went there. He goes, I'll give you $100,000 cash, or $100,000 check. I wrote him a fucking check. And I'm like, and I texted him back. I said, you didn't need to do that. He goes, no, I need to, because the benefit for me is to get the glove contract for all Fort Bend County hospitals, all the county stuff. I understood that, but I'm like, damn, I was thinking like 10 grand. This strokes a check for, and obviously lives in Sauvignon Shores, so they don't give, that's pennies and drop bucket. But I was just like, dude, Taral, I said, bro, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. He goes, well, what do you want? I said, dude, just to see that smile and just to connect my client with you, and hopefully there's a contract for them too. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I think in business, like, it's important to find a mentor in life, one that you don't pay. It just happens to fall in your lap. Like I feel like that's where I got a lot of my business and life like qualities. Like obviously my parents are one way, but I extract the good from kind of everybody, right? Like you've really taught me how to connect people, and like I feel like I could call a lot of people like on FaceTime and they would answer because I would do the same for them. I've learned that from you. Like
I think it helped with COVID too, because a lot of
A lot of people called me.
but
for
even
COVID.
but yeah, a lot.
A lot.
But even like then, I'll call you on fucking FaceTime,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, there's only one guy who's like, man, why are you calling me on Facebook? And then or FaceTime. But it's funny. I'm like, dude, just keep it above the chin while you're taking a shit. And like my partner AK, right, Akil, he's like, dude, every time I'm taking a shit, you fucking FaceTime me. Every time.
the greatest.
I'm like, hey, just keep it above the chin, bro. We're good.
You got a sense. But yeah, I think a lot of how we've been able to be as successful here is through networking and connecting. Like, we'll be straight up and honest to our clients if we can or cannot do something, or if we know somebody that can help them better than we can. And
And I think people remember, like, look, if you can't help them, let me find someone that can.
Yeah.
Or like, all the time I get a phone call. They're like, hey, this morning I got a call from Tesh. He's got this national distribution company. He's like, hey, can I call you? And I need to ask you a question. I think you would know the answer. And he's like, I've got this packaging pharmacy. We ship to pharmacies. I've got this real estate on this packaging. He goes, who should I be selling this to? I'm like, well, why don't you find a manufacturer that delivers your product, meaning like it's a type 1 diabetes. I said, who's the product of the manufacturing, right? Find that company, have them on there to market space. And then who's the drug company you want on there? And then find another drug company who wants it. He's like, oh my God, I never thought about that. And I said, then you can increase your sales that way.
Yeah.
All about marketing. So it's just giving that knowledge, but just
Right.
helping them out. And then obviously they'll remember, hey, this guy does energy. Hey, you should call this guy, or hey, you should call this guy. And then obviously marketing as well. So
And so like in business right now, like with your bread and butter, which is, your energy, but like everything else is a passive as a byproduct of your energy company. How do you feel like you delegate? Like, where did you learn how to delegate? Because with type A, we always feel like a lot of people have difficulty delegating because they want to do everything themselves. How do you feel like you delegated?
well, we're more of a passive, right? It's not, look, if I need to be calling you every single day, that's not a good investment.
Yeah.
Right? If I can say, hey, if you're a great operator, right? So there's a group that we have, it's called the Kirby Group, which is Andy and Jeff. David Wooster's Holman's, Heights Beer Garden, Pitch 25, Diverso and DeGus. There's Emma Jane, there's Buffalo Heights or Bayou Heights Beer Garden. All those investments, right? I mean, these guys are phenomenal operators. Here's a $500,000 check. You're going to get X amount in return, right? And for anyone, $500,000 is a shitload of money, right? And so obviously my wife's like, should we do that? And again, these are secured through the energy contracts as well, right? So, but at the same time, it's okay. Hey, finding good operators to make your investment into, it allows you to be passive. But if you need to be very active and you want to be the manager, you need to be on site. Those are not good investments. I mean, we invested, I think it was $250,000 into Triton EV energy vehicles in India. And you're talking about a rickshaw that can actually power a house in a village, and then they go home, which doesn't exist like Teslas right now. You can only go home and charge your Tesla, right? People's warranties got voided during COVID when they actually charged the Tesla charge of the house. They wouldn't allow you to do that. So believing in the product too, like that, helps out a lot. But I'd say just finding operators that you're investing in, right? If it's passive. Because look, I'm not going to manage a strip center. I'm not going to manage a hotel. I'm not going to manage a bar and restaurant, right?
Yeah.
We'll get the perks and benefits of going there, kind of thing, and see our investment come to fruition and stuff like that. And it's proud. Like when we go to Pitch 25, it's good to see, like especially during the World Cup and stuff like that. Or going to restaurants and stuff like that, like Bravery Chef Hall with On. We ate there the other day. I mean, it's just cool to go walk around every fucking restaurant, right? If you've ever been with us, we literally order like from everything. It's a spread for sure. So.
I mean, that's like every time
I can
we go
imagine.
with you.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's just fun to go. It's Filipinos, we say I love you with food, man. It's just food brings everyone together, and I think just having a spread. If you ever come to our house at any event like Easter and stuff like that, we just love to provide a shitload of food and just have a good time for sure.
Do you find yourself leaning towards more like food restaurant type investments, or do you kind of like exploring new opportunities like in the energy field?
Anything. I mean, anything. I mean, we've invested in energy vehicles. We've invested in upstream, downstream oil wells. We've invested, again, is meeting different type of people and industries, right?
Where do you say your portfolio, like how many things do you think you have invested in differently that as of right now?
Babe, how many? I don't even know. Yeah, fuck. 30, 40 things. Ish. I mean, we just invested in 2 hotels in Dallas with Mirage Patel.
So, like right around 50 different investments that are,
sure.
Paying you passively and just like kind of go from there.
Wow. So at what point, so you obviously you started with the energy. At what point did you want to start doing that? Like what was the decision to?
When I wanted to take my my income and not have capital gain so much, right? And so obviously the tax bracket is different. So
Mhm.
if I'm making $500,000 in commission and I can roll it back into that company and be an investor or be an owner, then I could take that $500,000 and in 2 to 3 years double it, right? And then obviously roll it into like a 1031 exchange, no cap,
Yeah,
so
no capital contribution, deductions, etc.
yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of these investments. It's like I feel cash flow broke, but investment rich.
Yeah,
If that makes sense,
Yeah.
because all I'm doing is taking cash does no good except to the bank.
correct.
If you just have cash at the bank, obviously there, like our black account with Chase, we have to have 250 in there. They're able to take out $2.5 million in loans.
Yeah, like
right?
9 times. I think 9, 10 times.
Right? And so,
Yeah.
obviously it's not compounding. One of the best investment advice I got is from one of my clients. His name is Arun Roy. He owns,
Yeah,
I think 200 Jack in the Boxes, right?
that guy's a star.
And he goes, Jeremy, bye. He goes, whatever you do, just without any broker, no nothing, just get $10 million, right?
I'm trying to have my son marry his granddaughter.
He literally is,
For
bro.
real, though.
He wants to get invested in the Jack.
Hey, for real, though.
though.
Arun?
He was at your house, right? He's always at your house. Has like
very
wears the
dapper,
crazy clothes.
very dapper, very stylish.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
He's always on Instagram. He's always posting. It's awesome.
He's on a workout craze right now.
Yeah, it's
He's-
awesome.
I'm like, hey, bro, do you got a dictionary? He's like, why? I said, for all that definition.
Jesus.
So,
But he told me,
let him
he told me,
finish.
he's like, hey, look, just get $10 million in your bank account, right? And we're working towards that, obviously. And he's like, $10 million cash, put it in a side account. I'm like, why? He goes, well, you can live off the interest. I'm like,
Yeah.
what does that look like? He goes, well,
6%.
$385,000 a year the bank will pay you. I'm like, he goes, who can live off that? I said, anybody. He goes, what are you talking about? He goes, well, that's what you do. And obviously, a lot of the stuff, we have a financial advisor through our CPA firm. And, we took out these loans that actually pay from the bank, that pay your whole life, your term life. And I didn't understand till, 5-10 years ago, what a trust fund baby was. And as I'm setting up my trust for my son and my wife and my family, I'm like, this is what they mean. Because when I die, fuck, man, Jesus, right? Everyone's going to be taken care of. But obviously, it's responsible, I would say, my wife or my son to take that and compound it as well to move that forward. Like my new house is in a 332-year trust. So my son marries, or his son marries, they can't touch that house.
Yeah.
Right? And that house will be paid for on 3 acres, good to go. That's going to be like the family heirloom or something like that. But
Awesome.
I found out what a trust fund baby was whenever you're paying off all these whole life, term life insurance policy. And I highly recommend that for you guys, especially if you have kids, is find a financial advisor to say, hey, I mean, I don't even know. She goes, hey, there's 25,000 that came out for some insurance thing. I'm like, she goes, what is it? I said, I don't know, call Manish, right? But I mean, they have this structured contingent upon what are our goals towards 60s, right? Of how we want to be living.
Right. How do you, I guess from a business perspective, like how do you want your son to be? Like, are you training your son for business aspects, or are you grooming him in any way, or are you just kind of like letting him live his life, and then when he's old enough, like, okay, let me take you under my wing?
Yeah, it's a combo of both, because I mean he'll see what I do and he goes, Dad, what do you do? He goes, you got this Bitcoin mine and you're mining Bitcoin, and he sees all this stuff. I'm like, he asked me, Dad, what do you do? I said, whatever it takes. He goes, no, Dad, what do you do? I said, whatever it takes.
I always say that too.
And he's like, I know it's a very general statement, but literally, if you look at it, I mean, we all provide for our wives and our family, whatever it takes. If we need to grind, we need to grind. We need to do this. We need to do that. I remember Daniel and I got into PPE. My bench hood van, my Sprinter van, was paid from commissions from selling isolation gowns. Right? I think I made $1 million or something like that. But I mean, it was cool because we pivoted.
Yeah.
By just, it's not necessarily we're chasing the dollar. We were helping people. Right? And I remember I connected Daniel to, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, to Tomahawk, which actually had the contract to Wildcat. And again, it was just connecting people, and if it helped my boy out, right? And then the PPE thing took off for him. I was so proud of him, and I still have worn that watch too that he got me, my Cartier watch too. I still wear it, even though
You better still wear that Cartier watch.
He thinks I don't wear it.
No, you don't wear it.
Damn, when you gonna get me a Cartier watch?
I wore it twice.
She's
Okay.
like, what watch?
When we hit our KPIs.
Yeah, but
What watch?
it's just my son. I see him and. He's going to make a woman very happy because he's really good with his hands and playing video games.
Ooh.
That boy,
Which fingers?
that boy can actually, watching him play Fortnite or Apex Legends. It's
Yeah.
crazy stuff, man. And he's got a computer set up. It's crazy. But to get into business, I mean, it'd be kind of cool to get him in the crypto space. He's very interested in the crypto space.
Yeah.
Selling electricity, he still doesn't know what it is. I mean, he just sees dad when he comes home and he hears the conference calls. I mean, this kid just sees what it's provided. He doesn't see the shit show that goes before it.
Yeah.
But I think, obviously like my mother wants him to be a doctor or an engineer, but you don't think about shit like that when you're 14. It's hey, what's fun to him? It's not necessarily I want him to be his kid himself, right? And so whatever that looks like, I'll support him.
Enjoy being a kid.
Yeah, he'll be taken care of down the road, right? But it's just more so, hey, I want you to do what you want to do, but you need to find something that you're passionate. And that's why I love Gary Vee. Find your passion. And you got so much time,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
What made you get into like the crypto space and start a Bitcoin mining facility?
Oh man, so my boy AK and I, we were mining cryptocurrency since 2017, and so we did it in that first fork that happened. It kind of took out a lot of people. Ironically, being in the energy space, I had a couple crypto clients, and we're talking like electric bills are anywhere between $800 to $3 million a month, right? And it's not that how much commission we're getting, but the usage, the consumption's pretty huge, right? And so like our Katy facility, it's 4.4 megawatts. It's 3,000 square feet with 1,200 machines.
Jesus Christ.
Right? And so the power consumption on there is the power consumption.
And those are running 24/7, right?
But the power consumption there is cities. Like we're producing more than Deer Park ISD, right? The power in 3,000 square feet.
That's why our grids are fucking failing.
Yeah.
Well, ironically,
you're the reason we.
Here's the beautiful part about that. So here's the beautiful part about that is there's a company that Marshall Long is one of our partners and stuff. He owns. Was partners with a company called Rhodium, and so they own Building 3 in the Riot. Riot made $31 million last month in arbitraging the power by selling the power they would have used back to the grid.
Holy shit! What did they purchase it at?
It's ERCOT. So you guys know, like here the biggest one is the biggest people. I think is Google. Do you guys have Nest thermostats?
I do, yeah.
I don't.
Okay, so do you ever notice that your AC will sometimes go up?
I heard they have a
few times.
in there.
So Nest thermostat has a contract where they basically arbitrage the power at your house on your behalf, and they get compensated for increasing your temperature. So they get paid that spread, right? And you agree to it by signing by when you click on it, signing the disclosure and all that good stuff when you install it. But in a simpler format, whenever at 3, so please conserve power from 3 to 5.
I get emails like that all the time.
So they're telling you to conserve power. You're doing it voluntarily, right? Yeah. Or if Nest is taking your AC from 72 to 74. Now imagine doing that for hundreds of thousands of homes.
Yeah, when they tell me that my AC is going down, I'm going to 71.
Yeah, and a lot of people do that, right?
Yeah,
but ironically, you're doing it voluntarily per se.
Yeah, no.
Bitcoin miners like ourselves, we're doing it and we're getting compensated.
Yeah, it's wild. That's why I always knew like that type of stuff was always a scam. Because not everybody is. I feel like with every situation, like on a mass scale like that, it's always like a push and pull. Someone's always making money from it, while the others, like like the citizens.
Hey, look at these guys doing it for free.
Fuck that, I'm making money from it.
Wild.
I mean, Bitcoin, it kind of went hand in hand for me because it's the number one expense is the utility, right? And so if you have a shitty contract, you're not going to make money. If you have a great contract, you'll make a lot. And that's why energy and Bitcoin mining, if you arbitrage the power, or AKA sell the power back to the grid, you can make 10x by selling the power back to the grid than mining the Bitcoin itself.
Wow. So
these companies like Orion, like Rhodium, Celsius, I mean, they're basically like little mini power grids, right?
That's insane. My mind is blown right now.
Yeah, and
is this only in Texas, or is this kind of like it's happening around the U.S.?
So energy arbitrage is predominantly in ERCOT, I mean, where a lot of these, I don't know if you remember the influx that we had of Bitcoin miners in the news. I mean, but you're talking, if you actually Google Riot or just in Rockdale, Texas, that operation is ridiculous. So you're talking 700 megawatts. I think it's 700 megawatts of power. That's
a month?
700 megawatts.
A month?
They use 1.5 billion kilowatt hours a year. It's stupid.
Holy shit.
Is that the 3 million? They're paying like $3 million
They got $31 million last month for arbitraging the power. Just Google it. Riot, $31 million.
Wow. That's wild.
And then in Sugar Land, we're going from 3 megawatts on the building we own. So our company's is called Biddies. Sounds like titties, right? But Biddies, BITTIES.io. And we do Bitcoin mining and hosting as well. But Biddies is, we have Katy, Sugar Land, and Baytown kind of thing. And so, we're scaling for the building that we own. my neighbor. So Marshall Long was our neighbor. AK is our neighbor. We're like, hey, let's buy a building. Who the fuck does that? Let's go buy a building in auction, right? And so we found one in Sugar Land. Roof was caved in, and we bought it, and then we retrofitted it. It was a data center, and then we developed it to be a mine, right? And so we started mining Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's done now, right? You guys finished that up?
Oh yeah,
Well, the Sugarland one's been done. Yeah.
Sugarland's been done. We're actually applying for more power, so we'll be the largest consumer in Sugarland, Texas, for power at one location.
How does the application process work for that? Like, how do you get approved to do that?
Economical development in Sugarland, being friends with councilmen, right, in the permitting department, the city council, and just understanding, hey, how can this economical development impact, the city? How can we provide more jobs, or how can we make it educational too? So one of the things that we're doing is, how can we bring like kids? Like my son goes to Fort Bend Christian, so I'm like, hey, I spoke with the head of school. I'm like, hey, it'd be fun for the kids because it's right down the street.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't we set up a tour for 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade to give them an understanding and show them what we call the war room. And we have these screens everywhere that shows you each machine, how arbitraging the power, our software application, walking into the aisle that's 140 degrees, and all you hear is zzz. It's insane.
Making it educational.
But we have the hot aisle, cold aisle. We've got hydro, right? Immersion, which is the dielectrical fluid from Shell that we use. You can,
When someone tells me that we're doing too much, or like, hey, you're doing too much, every time I hear that, I always think of you. Like I feel like there's no such thing as doing too much, because if you have the ability to, or the bandwidth to, like, because you're literally,
we have it now, right?
Yeah, I mean,
in our
but
30s
it takes
and 40s.
yeah.
I'd say 50s and 60s. That's gonna be. She was like, "When are we gonna retire?" I'm like, "Babe, I'm only 45." She goes,
Not if you're buying Hublots every week.
She's like, I'm out.
"She goes, you're cheating on Hulu with Rolex."
She wants to go snowboard. She's ready.
But that's why, like, when I see what you've built, obviously you're in your 40s, which is still considerably young.
Yep.
Being able to balance everything that you do on a daily basis, the knowledge that you've acquired, and still being able to have an equal balance, obviously, with your wife and travel and family. Like that type of stuff doesn't happen overnight. And I think, like, with a lot of people and their misunderstanding of an empire, it has to be, because everything that you're doing essentially is vertically integrated. It all resorts back to power. Yes, whether it's the Facebook stuff with the restaurants, because you're building them business, that'll bring you more business for energy, or the Bitcoin stuff. Those are all just like tangents, but everything will always be vertically integrated. And that's why I feel like with everything I like try to do in business, like I always try to think about how it can vertically integrate with my life. Like with Relay Distribution, what we're building here, we have the fulfillment side, we have the media side, because if the fulfillment side grows, their media side grows, and thus feeding that. And then, we have
compounds.
Yeah,
Compounds.
The manufacturing.
Yeah. So when someone always tells me like, hey, you're doing too much, I'm like, you're probably doing too little.
Yep.
Like if you're telling me that I'm doing too much or you're spread too thin, like I literally always think of you, because from a business perspective, like being able to balance everything that you're doing is just once you start doing it, it becomes like repetition. It's not hard. It's not difficult.
That's why I was. Everyone asked me, how do you do your work-life balance? I said, I don't. I said, I'm probably the worst person out. There is no, work-life balance. I can tell you what makes me grounded is my wife.
Yeah.
Right? That makes me grounded. Is it balance? Fuck no. Right.
Yeah.
But it's if you're doing what you love, it's not work. Right.
Yeah.
But I will say this is what makes it a lot easier. Like you delegating and all this good stuff is if you have a good CPA firm, right, that manages your books, right? We have a fantastic one, Seth and Alexander, Manish and Tyson, those guys are bookkeeper. I mean, they help with, my wife controls the money. She manages it, right? I don't even have access to our bank account. She's the one that I rely on to do all that stuff. I don't want to see what we have in our bank account, right? Because I just want to work. Let me do what I'm good at, right? And so she manages that piece of it with our CPA firm. So if I have a CPA firm that does all our taxes, that pays our bills, that automates and streamlines everything, I don't need to worry about that stuff. I just need to focus on sales and make money kind of thing and build relationships. That's what I love to do, genuinely love to do that, right? So you got a good attorney, you got a good doctor, right, for your health, and you got a good CPA firm. That's the holy trinity.
Yeah. We definitely have a good lawyer now.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Pretty fucking amazing.
Well, I mean, that's a good transition to the final leg, which is like advice and retrospect. So aside from what you just said, what other types of advice would you give for really any business owner out there?
Oh man, I honestly think the number one and this is just for me learning this, is making sure you find a partner, your I'd say wife or husband, but making sure you find a partner that understands what you do and supports you.
Mm-hmm.
Because without that support, I mean, you come home and you know this when I had the gym and stuff like that. If you don't have that support at the house and you can't focus on that in your family, you're Jedi mind fucked. It's a completely different game. But first and foremost, make sure your laundry at home is in order. Make sure your priorities are aligned with your values, right? That you're not like if you're going on Instagram and looking at other bitches and shit like this. I mean, you're not there, right?
Yeah.
Where are you in business? Did you hyperextend yourself in business, right? And now you don't have the money. You spent all that money on rent or a car that you can't afford, and now you got to do some shady shit to make more money to compensate to make this, right? So if you're hyperextended here and you got to make bad decisions, right, to make more money to pay that stuff off, dial it back down, right? Make smart, informed decisions. Make educated decisions. Don't make greedy decisions that are going to compromise or put you in a position where you need to do that. And we've all been there once in life. But the thing is, like, and I've been there before, way back in the day. But I caught myself, and I said, look, this is one of those things in life, right? I caught myself where do I make the decision, and I'm like, okay, what are the ramifications now? Because what I went through pharmacy, I know if I did, and it wasn't this bad. I mean, that was pretty bad, right? But now in business and electricity, do I compromise my integrity in sales and do something that would have been shady, right? To get paid a lot of commission to pay for the things I didn't need in the first place. And that pivot in my life in energy, and it happened one time in energy, and it was 2007. And I made the right decision because of what happened to me in the pharmacy. So again, it's failing, falling forward, and learning from your mistakes. So that the best decision, a couple things. One is finding a partner that supports you and has your back, and you guys are aligned, you're ride or die, and enjoying it like with your best friend. Right, my wife's my best friend. Yeah, right? My son's happy, my wife is happy, my mother's healthy, right? And so I mean, I got great friends. Life is great. I'm very, very grateful, for sure.
What about have you read any type of books? Like, how do you kind of keep your knowledge up in that aspect? Do you,
man, I read
or any that you've read in the past that, aside from the questions one, is that something that you do?
It's funny because every single morning, I don't know if you see it, but I'll post like little motivational stuff. I recycle it for my memories and stuff like that. And you can always see what someone's going through contingent upon the advice. The thing is, do you live off that same advice yourself, right? And it's funny because when I do repost in the morning, every single morning, I'll go to memories and share memories. I'll remember, it says when this memory was, and based contingent upon that memory, I say, oh my God, that's what I was going through at that time, right? And did I actually listen to my own advice? But recently, it's been a lot of positive stuff, and I love watching Gary Vee, honestly, just because he did, when he came out, very similar upbringing. I mean, his dad, he ran the liquor store. He took his dad's stuff and exponentially compounded it and made it better. And so his advice recently with Gary Vee has just been, gratitude, happiness, being kind. And most people don't understand that in business, how important that is, right? Kind is the new thing. Because we always taught, in business, you got to be cutthroat, especially like I say, Chinese people. Yeah. I mean, they're just, you just, there's no gray. It's right, wrong kind of thing. You just,
you've seen it with.
I see it every day, right? Yeah. And that's why everyone's like, man, why are you so kind to these people? I'm like, look, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for myself. I'm happy. I'm great. I don't need to live with that. What's that one that saying is, that Buddha saying something where like you drinking the poison and you expecting them to die or something like that. I mean, that's very right, because I mean, it's, if you're going to do something, do it for yourself. Don't do it to impress them or, make an impression on them.
Yeah. So. If you were to look back on everything that's like happened to you, like how do you feel like everything has gone?
Oh, I'm so, it's funny because, even like it's funny because I remember, I think one of our friends, Sam, with Exclusive Furniture. Yeah. He's like, hey man, I want you to do this podcast. I want you to do a podcast. And I kind of pushed it off because I never wanted to do the podcast. This is my first one. Yeah. And I really
First and only boy.
I know. It probably will be.
And we special.
Yeah. I know. And I know. My boy kept, he's like, please come do it. Please come do it. I said, fine. And it's funny because I never really did podcasts, and I've been asked, a lot, right? Yeah. And I just said no. And it was just, why not? It's just to share. And I'm not really concerned of what people will think about this thing or not like that. Yeah. But, it's funny because even when we're in a normal setting, and then people ask me, like, I think even at my house, my neighbor's daughter came over and she was just, how'd you do this? And I was just telling the whole story of what happened with the farm, fucked up some little, but I was telling him, and then to friends around me, everyone knows it, right? But to people that really aren't around us, they're like shocked. And they're like, how can you don't care people know that? I'm like, why would I? I said, I'm so proud that all that happened because I'm basically
a blessing for sure.
Yeah, I'm a compilation of all my mistakes or everything positive, negative. And I said, look, if I wouldn't be here today happy or in this position if all that didn't happen. I would have never met my wife.
That's
I
true.
would have never, the ripple effects, I would have never bartended to meet her. I would have never gotten the opportunity to be in sales to sell electricity if I didn't
You'd
go
still
to
be a
jail.
pharmacist somewhere
I'd still be a
making
pharmacist.
150K or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
You would have
is
probably gave
fine.
me like my prescription at like CVS.
I probably would, but it's funny because we didn't even talk about it. That's how we met, right? And I would have never met you guys, or even both of y'all, but we met because I was helping. His mom called me, and I didn't know who he was, and it was what was it? Was it the plastics company?
Yeah, Capital
Plastics off
Capital,
of I-10. And I walked in, and someone says, "Hey,
Harwin.
yeah." And they were like, "Hey, I need your help." And so I came in, and then right when I opened the door, it was all dark, because Asians leave all the lights off and stuff like that.
That's true. That's 100% true.
And so I walk in, and then it's just funny talking. I see this Asian guy with a small head and a big ass, swole motherfucker.
Yeah.
He looked like the guy from Bloodsport.
He don't look like that anymore.
Bolo.
He got that dad bod. But
I was wearing a white Gymshark tee. That's a V.
Yeah, man. You remember what you wore?
I remember that day. Clear as day.
I walk in, and I'm like, "Say, bro, what cycle are you on?" And he goes, "I'm not on a fucking cycle, bro." and so his, obviously, because he gets flush red when he drinks, his face got like he was mad at me, bro. He was mad.
Yeah.
And so I ended up helping his mom, and we ended up having a great relationship and just flourishing and growing into something beautiful, like a brotherhood. It's amazing. So
yeah, this is definitely I was telling Derek, like, this is probably my most desired episode. Because I think, like, for me, I credit, like, a lot of my success and everything I've done in business is a lot of it is attributed to you. Like, and that's why I feel so grateful all the time. Like, there hasn't been a lot of people in my life that really, like, guided me towards this. And just, like, subconsciously doing it from your perspective, like, you've done it to a lot of people. And it's like in life, like there's not a lot of people that kind of will come your way and bless you with like just no intention, just doing it out of the kindness of their heart,
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
This year, my 45th birthday, when we went to New York and just having, I didn't even expect it, but my whole, her brothers and sisters and the family, we went around the table at this Michelin star Korean restaurant. And I never felt more grateful because I don't do it. I just do it, right? To keep people, help people. Yeah. But I really didn't realize until this year I was more appreciative of gratitude because everyone around, my stepbrother, my stepsisters, they just went around the table and said, "Hey, we're so grateful for you because this is what you do to people around you. You make them believe, blah blah." And I don't think of it that way just because I just do it, right? But then to see it from other people, I was like, "Wow, I didn't realize I had that big of an impact," and I was like, I just felt so grateful. It was awesome. Yeah, this birthday was amazing. For sure.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, definitely like the things that Daniel has learned from you. I think we've definitely applied a lot of it to our business, and it's cool hearing your story and then kind of looking back on how we're treating our clients and what we're doing in the sales process and things like that, and seeing how it like directly correlates from that relationship is. It's really cool.
Love it.
For sure.
Yeah. And I didn't know a lot about your story or your background, so it's like really cool to get to know you on that deeper of a level as well.
It's more animated when alcohol is induced, but I mean, it's for sure. It's a crazy story, but I wouldn't. Everyone asks, "You're not embarrassed about it?" I said, "Absolutely not." I said, "I wouldn't be standing here with you today with where I'm at physically, mentally, emotionally, and I wouldn't have the things I have, which I wouldn't change it for the world." Yeah. And everything happened. And ironically, if people can understand that or comprehend that bad decision happened 20 some odd years ago, we all make mistakes. We really do. And I just got caught, right? We all do stupid shit just on different magnitudes. I just got caught.
I actually posted something like that on my threads today. I'll read it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Wow.
The old school education system directly sets us up for failure. Do as you're told. Don't cooperate. Only one way to solve a problem. Only one right answer. Never taught about money. And don't make a mistake. If you're successful in life, you know that everything stated above should be the complete opposite.
Absolutely.
which is true.
100%.
And this is like, you know, in school, like you can't make a mistake. There's only one right answer. Like you're going to fail, like all of these things, you know? So wait, so
Going
You don't-
against the grind. For
wait,
Sure.
so you don't read books, right?
I mean, I haven't read books in a while, man.
I just fist pumped the air.
I'm telling you, Jack.
I don't read a lot. I'll read ones that I feel like
Meaningful.
will help me with something.
Yeah.
It's almost like reading a book. Like, I mean, I'll give it to you this perspective, the nuance, right?
Yeah.
I won't read a book if it doesn't have pictures, right? So
Same,
so
bro.
social media, I won't read a post unless it's a video.
Yeah.
Right. I want to watch the video, right?
Yeah.
Because it has
True.
pictures. It's more engagement.
Just
more
learn
entertaining.
different type of way.
Yeah,
We're visual.
Yeah.
We're very visual.
It's good. I think that's a good place for us to wrap up, Jeremy. So, you know, thanks for crossing the finish line
thank you
of
guys for
Relay
having me.
Radio with
Yeah.
us, helping our audience grow their knowledge in the world of business, specifically from this episode. Hopefully, you know, whether it's business advice in the energy field or, you know, sales process or investments. So thanks again for coming out.
Yeah.
Yes. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you to the listeners at home for tuning in. Together, we will sprint towards a purpose-driven future, celebrating the power of business, entrepreneurship, and the transformative impact that it can create.
Oh yeah.
I'll never memorize that.